His
Ma'am, I can't
order.
afford that.
Just give me a moment, Mr. Cross.
No, I'm telling you, I can't afford that.
I understand, sir, but I'm giving my
You don't
order.
understand what I'm trying to tell you. I can't afford what I'm paying now.
Judge, we are here on the state's motion to confirm support arrearages and modify support obligations that was filed on July 19th of 2024. Mr. Cross was served July 29th of 2024 and also appeared at the court's first setting in this case, or the first court setting in this case on October 22nd, 2024. At that time, Mr. Cross requested a reset to hire an attorney, and we are here today without Mr. Cross having done so, and he's asking for a reset again for the same reason. And the state and Ms. Reynolds would object to that request and ask to proceed with at least a temporary order.
And Mr. Cross, it looks like you requested a reset to hire an attorney in October. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And why is it that you haven't hired an attorney yet?
Well, I was in the process of hiring an attorney, and I had the money saved up for it. And then I had accident happen in the house, and I had to fix the house.
Okay.
My truck was stolen, so I had to fix my truck. So I had a lot of things happen to me with the money that I was going to use for the attorney.
Okay. And so,
And I had documents that needed to be accessed.
what do you mean, documents that need to be accessed?
Police report that my truck was stolen, that I had to
Oh.
fix my truck, and also the receipts that I had to use for fixing my truck, and also the receipts I had to fix my house.
How much time are you requesting to hire an attorney?
Just a few months or whatever.
Okay.
I've been talking to Benjamin Beverage.
Okay. Here's the problem, sir. The case was filed in July, and we are only 4 months away from it being a year since the case has been filed. We did give a reset in October, and so you've had a number of months to try to get an attorney. So I am not going to grant a reset today. We can go forward with hearing. Are you ready, Ms. Leskowski?
Yes, Judge.
Okay. Okay, you may proceed.
The state would first ask the court to take judicial notice of the state's pleadings and all requests therein and attachments thereto.
The court will take judicial notice of the suit for modification of support order and motion to confirm support arrearage that was filed by the Office of the Attorney General on July 19th of 2024. And it includes a copy of the final decree of divorce, which set child support at $734 a month beginning August 1st of 2023. And then it does not look like it did not make a payment towards the medical support. And it was signed on June 29th of 2023. And the court will also take judicial notice of the financial activity report dated June 28th of 2024 that was filed with the pleadings.
The state would first call Ms. Reynolds.
You may proceed.
All right, Ms. Reynolds, have you had an opportunity to review an updated pay record in this case?
No.
Ms. Reynolds, this pay record that I'm sharing my screen with, sharing on my screen, does this pay record accurately reflect Mr. Cross's child support obligation to you?
Yes.
All right. And has Mr. Cross ever made you made any child support payments directly to you?
No.
Not rather than through the state disbursement unit?
No, ma'am.
I've given her money.
Okay, and Mr. Cross, this is her time to testify, so you can't make any comments, and in a little bit, you're going to be able to testify, okay?
Ms. Reynolds, does this pay record accurately reflect Mr. Cross's arrearages to you?
what I'm supposed to get per month?
What the running tally of what he owes you in child support arrears.
Yeah.
Okay. At this time, the state would offer what's been marked for identification purposes as State Exhibit 1, an updated pay record in this case.
Ms. Reynolds, do you have any objection to this being admitted into evidence?
No, ma'am.
Mr. Cross, do you have any objection to this being admitted into evidence?
Yes.
Okay, what is your objection?
My objection is this is all insane.
Okay, what is your legal objection?
I mean, in the last month, I've given her thousands of dollars and she didn't say anything about that.
Okay, Mr. Cross, what is your legal objection to this being admitted into evidence?
Evidence of how?
It'll be admitted, Ms. Leskowski.
Ms. Reynolds, is there any family violence between you and Mr. Cross?
No.
All right. Does Mr. Cross know where you live now?
Yes.
If you were to move from your current residence, have safety concerns being required to tell Mr. Cross where you do?
No.
Do you have any safety concerns with your contact information being in today's court order as a public record?
No, ma'am.
How are the children currently insured?
Medicaid.
Do you have private health insurance available to put them on?
No, I did, but I lost my job in July.
Okay. Pass the witness, Your Honor.
Mr. Cross, do you have any questions for Ms. Reynolds based on her testimony?
As of what? I don't understand what you're saying.
Ms. Reynolds just testified. Do you have any cross-examined questions you want to ask her based on how she testified?
I mean, I have given her money, and on top
Okay.
of that,
Okay, Mr. Cross, just one second. I can't let you testify right now. You can only ask her questions. In a few moments, you're going to get to testify and tell me your side. But right now, during this part of the hearing, it's your turn just to ask her questions.
I don't suppose I have any questions then.
Okay. You may call your next witness, Ms. Leskowski.
The state would call Mr. Cross. Mr. Cross, are you currently employed?
I am.
And what do you do?
I'm a salesman for a crane and heavy haul company.
Okay. And how much do you earn?
We talked about that earlier. As of right now, since I got hired, it's 51,000.
Okay. How long have you been at your current employer?
August, September. I don't remember what we looked at earlier. I told you earlier. I have to look it back up at it again.
And Mr. Cross, the reason why she's asking is because I haven't heard anything that y'all talked about in the room.
I understand. When she asked me everything, she asked it to me, and I looked back on my Payless City to look at everything. So I got to do that again if she wants the same answers.
Okay, that's not a problem, Mr. Cross. You can look.
So, Mr. Cross, do you have your 2024 W-2?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. And what does that W-2 say that you earned in 2024?
That's what I'm trying to look for again now. W-2 as of now is 52,695.
And how many employers did you have in 2024?
What do you mean? Like how many people I worked for?
How many employers did you have in 2024?
Just one. I didn't
Okay.
work 2024. That's why I owe child support, because I didn't have a job.
Okay. And how long did you work for that employer in 2024?
Since August.
Okay. Are you still working for them?
I am currently.
Do you have private health insurance available to put your daughter on?
I have insurance through my company, yes.
Okay. And do you know how much it would cost to put your daughter on that insurance?
I think we talked about that earlier, and it was $240 average.
Okay, is that for health, dental, a
Health, dental, and
package?
vision.
Okay. Do you have any other biological children under the age of 18?
I do, too.
All right. Do you have a court order to pay support for those two children?
I do, and they're on my insurance.
Okay. The $240 figure, is that just for Presley's portion?
I believe so, because I'm paying 7 something now.
Okay, and that $700 figure, how many people does that cover?
Well, just 2 kids because I'm free.
Okay. Do you know if it would cost any more money to add?
That's a good
Presley?
question, and I couldn't tell you. I have to figure that out. I don't know how that works.
Right, is there any family violence between you and Ms. Reynolds?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Do you have safety concerns with being required to tell Ms. Reynolds where you move?
No,
if you were to
ma'am.
move? Okay. Do you have safety concerns with your contact information being in today's court order?
Do not.
And lastly, are you in agreement with the multifamily or with the guideline child support amount of $1,061 per month beginning April 1st, 2025 and monthly
I'm
there?
not.
All right, why not?
I think it's very ridiculous. I can't afford what I'm doing now. I can't afford my bills that I have. I mean, it's hard.
What are your bills?
My house note is $1,800 a month. My truck note $600 a month. My insurance is $300 a month. I spend $1,400 a month in groceries every month for all the kids. My light bill's $300 a month. I can barely afford what I'm doing now. And here recently, I had been helping Haley out on under the, giving her cash here and there when she asked for it.
When was the most recent time you
Last
gave?
week.
How much was that?
I don't know, Haley, how much was it? $300?
She
It
can't.
was around 200.
No, Miss Reynolds, you can't answer his questions. You're not under, this is not your time to testify.
Oh.
Only you can answer that, Mr. Cross.
Well, in the last couple of weeks, I gave her over $1,000.
What do you believe is a reasonable child support amount for you to pay monthly?
I think the amount now is a little high, but it's reasonable.
Pass the witness, Judge?
Miss Reynolds, do you have any questions of Mr. Cross?
No, ma'am.
Okay, Mr. Cross. Okay. Well, first, before I ask you, Miss Leskowski, so what is the gross amount that you're using to come up with 1,061 a month?
The state used the W-2 figure provided by Mr. Cross. That was $52,695 for the last 6 months of 2024. I divided that by 6 and got a gross monthly income of $8,782.50. And used a health and dental insurance credit of $247.
May I say something?
Just 1 second, sir.
That was
I-
based on a monthly package price of $740 with divided by 3 being the number of children that Mr. Cross would have on that plan, and that he himself wouldn't be paying a premium for himself. So that came to $247.
Okay, and tell me again what the gross is that you use.
$8,782.
Okay, Mr. Cross, you indicated that your rent is $1,800 a month, correct? Or
Yes,
is that
ma'am.
is that your mortgage?
My mortgage.
Okay, do you live alone?
No, ma'am.
How many people live in your household?
3.
And are they all children or are any of them spouses?
2 children, 1's a spouse.
And does your spouse work?
She's trying to be a realtor.
And Miss Reynolds, are you driving?
Yes, I am. I'm sorry.
Okay, I'm gonna have to ask you to pull over. We can't have anyone driving during a hearing.
Okay.
Okay, so what did you say your spouse does, Mr. Cross?
She's trying to be a realtor.
Does she help out with any of the bills at home?
Not at this time.
So you said your car insurance, you pay $300 a month?
$380.
Is that just for your truck?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And then what kind of truck do you have? Give me the year and the model. The make.
2012 F-250.
And then you pay $1,400 a month for groceries for you, your spouse, and the 2 children in your home, correct?
And I get my other 3 kids every other weekend. My
So do you
oldest
have-
daughters,
So the 2 children living in the household are your partner's children?
yes, they're stepkids, yes.
Okay. And then you have 2 other children not living with you, you pay support for?
Yes, but my oldest daughters come to the house quite a bit.
Okay. And
They
then,
don't come every other weekend, but they come probably half a month.
and then you said the light bill was $300 a month, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Do you have any other, what about, do you have internet at home?
We have internet, water bill, I mean, everything.
How much
really.
is your internet each month?
I think it's like $100.
Okay. How much is your water bill each month?
64.
And you indicated that you have been giving Miss Reynolds money directly.
I've just been helping her out.
Okay. Do
Because she
you,
lost her job, and I helping
Okay.
her out.
so how much money would you estimate that you've given her directly, which is not reflected in the financial activity report?
I think I've given her over $1,400 in the last 4 weeks.
And is that the total you've given her since the divorce decree was signed?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Okay, Ms. Leskowski, can you share the financial activity report again?
Yes, Judge.
Okay, Mr. Cross, and you might have to make it, yeah, there we go. Ms. Leskowski.
Is that good or?
Let me see. Can you see that, Mr. Cross?
I can.
Okay, so it looks like your prior order was signed on or about before August 1st of 2023. Would you agree?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so if Ms. Leskowski scrolls down from August 1st of 2023 until today, have you given, how much money do you think you've given Miss Reynolds directly that is not reflected here?
I've just started giving her money in the last 3 or 4 weeks just to help her out.
Okay, so a total of 1,400?
Roughly, yes, ma'am.
Okay. And do you agree that and you can stop sharing, Ms. Leskowski. And do you agree that based off of your W-2 and working there for 6 months, you make on average $8,782 a month before taxes or anything else taken out?
I guess for taxes, yes, ma'am, I do. I'm bringing home 2931 tax.
And is that a month or a pay period?
That's a pay period every
And
2
how many?
weeks.
Every 2 weeks. Okay. And so, Ms. Leskowski, what is the net that you're using to calculate child support after taxes and everything else is taken out?
$6,629.98 with one child before the court, 2 others, and that would be a guideline percentage of 16% of net resources.
Now, Mr. Cross, what do you pay each month on your 2 other child support cases?
We have an agreement where it's $350 a month.
And that's
I-
for both of the girls?
I send that to the mom, and then I pay for their shoes, their school clothes, and any activities.
So do y'all have an order that says $350 a month or an
Yes,
order
ma'am.
that says 0 a month?
It's in order. It says $350 a month, but also I pay for the school clothes. They keep on my insurance and pay the 50/50 pretty much. But she needs help too, so I help her out when I can.
1 second, I'm just doing some math. Now, Ms. Reynolds, would you agree that Mr. Cross has given you $1,400 in the last 4 weeks?
No, ma'am. He gave me money to help me with Presley's medication and her eyeglasses because her insurance dropped her certain medication she had. And so I had to self-pay it, and I asked him to help me with it.
Okay, so any monies he gave you was for medical or glass?
And I have a document of that as well.
Mr. Cross, was that your understanding of what the money was for?
No, ma'am. I have text messages asking to borrow money, and I have it to her.
Do either of y'all have that available to share as evidence today?
We talked on the phone. It really wasn't on text.
Okay, this is what we're gonna do today, guys. We're gonna do a temporary order. I'm not gonna take a child support judgment today. I want to reset the case so that Mr. Cross can bring in proof of text messages that it was just money sent directly. And then I want Ms. Reynolds to bring in the bills that you paid for the medical expenses so that those can be compared. I need to see that evidence. I am going to find that Mr. Cross has a gross income right now of $8,782. And after giving him credit for 2 other children and medical support through his employer, his child support will be set at $1,061 a month to begin April 1st. And
Ma'am, I can't afford that.
just give me a moment, Mr. Cross.
No, I'm telling you, I can't afford that.
I understand, sir, but I'm giving my
You don't
board-
understand what I'm trying to tell you. I can't afford what I'm paying now, and I can't afford.
Okay, I muted you, sir, because this is my time to talk. Okay, so child support will be set at $1,061 beginning April 1st. The court will reserve the confirmation of arrears for final hearing, and that's when I want to see the evidence. Mr. Cross, I show that you, with your bills and your child support, you pay around $4,994 a month, and you have a net resources after taxes of $6,629.98. So that does leave you room to be able to pay child support. So that's why I'm ordering it, because I haven't heard any testimony that there's extraordinary circumstances so that you cannot pay guideline amount per the Texas code.
This is very unconstitutional.
Yes, sir. I'm also going to reserve, I'm going to order that there is no non-disclosure in this case. And then the confirmation of arrears is reserved for final hearing. Ms. Leskowski, do you have a recommendation on a date for final hearing? It can be in the next month if there's one possible.
There is room on April 22nd.
Okay. This
May
case will
6th.
This case will be reset to April 22nd for final hearing. I just want to let you both know, because this is a contested hearing, you have a 3-day window to file what's called a de novo with the Brazoria County Clerk's office, and then the case can be heard before a new judge. If you don't file de novo, then when we come back on April 22nd, we will resolve all issues that day. So at this time, I'm going to place you back in your waiting room. Ms. Leskowski will go over the order with you, answer any questions, and then you'll both be excused. So Mr. Cross, I'm sending you to room 9,